So, if anything that Barbara is very flexible. So I will be very flexible. I'd like to walk around a little bit. I can say hello to you. Do you like my pocketbook? It's Hermes. $2,000 from Italy. Not that I may drop. Not that money matters, but it kind of does. First, as long as my witty legend is here. Rabbi, you taught me a very valuable lesson last time I was here. Let me see if I have it in my pocketbook from Hermes. Well, I need to be more organized. Maybe the audience can help. Why would this be important to the rabbi? Anyone know? What are they? Zee, do you know what they are? Oh, how do I know your name? I'm telepathic. Young man, what's your name? Zee, do you know what these are? Oh, yes, and the rabbi told us all how important it is that we respect the tomato growers. So, Rabbi, this is something for you. Because I knew how the book was. Rabbi, I want to share one of my favorite memories, my fondest moment with our Rabbi Rachel, that was in Russia, was in 2013. We were in a hot tub with Burt Bacharach, Bill Clinton, Lady Gaga, and that irrepressible funny man, Jerry Lewis. We drank Mai Tais and speculated about bringing peace to the Middle East until Big Bird from Sesame Street entered the tub and asked if we'd like to meet his new friend, Mary Jane. But we decided not to. And having known the rabbi, she's been on my special, The 10 Most Fascinating People of 2015. She'll be on my special, The 10 Most Fascinating People of 2016. And she'll be on my show 2020. I hope you all watch 2020 and Fine Time Live and Nightline. I'm on that all the time. So I had a few other things, people I was hoping would show up. I hear we're getting a new president. Is the new president here?
Baba, louder.
Okay, Baba has to be louder. Maxine, are you here? Maxine, I feel very close with this congregation. You and I had some very interesting talks. I was in a rather awkward position when we would talk. But you being a gynecologist, you being my gynecologist, but you always made me feel so comfortable in the stirrups. You don't know this, but I'm 108 now. Let's hear a round of applause for looking so wonderful. Every element of my female health to me, and we had such lovely talks when I was in the stirrups. I don't even realize I was in the stirrups. So, I don't need these anymore. Maybe somebody you could share with. I want to personally thank you for being my OBGYN. And I wish you much success as a new president. Oh, it's our entertainment chair, Miriam Gardner from Miriam. I've heard you've done marvelous shows. Maybe you'll book me sometime. And these are reasonable and very interesting. It's all about me, but everyone likes it. Okay, I have some other gifts. Well, my Hermes, not that I'm a name dropper, my Hermes. Sandy Simon, are you here?
Yeah, he's here.
Where's Sandy?
He's hiding.
Oh, Sandy, we have a secret. I'm 108, so it goes way, way back, and we don't have to tell anybody our secret. But I wanted to give you my memories of being together. Sandy, it's a synthetic web of love. And Sandy, when I go to bed at night, and I want to maintain my beautiful hairdo, I put on my hairnet, which comes from the safety zone. And you gave this to me many, many moons ago, and we don't have to share any of the details. Thank you. my Hermes pocketbook. Not that I'm a name dropper. Oh. Is Kevin Fox here? Kevin? Kevin? Oh, Kevin. Can you come here, Kevin? Kevin, you and I have a very special bond in that we both can't have vitamin K. So, Kevin, I wanted to give you this piece of celery because when we go out for dinner, we have our special times together. We always have the custom order, and the waitress is always like, "Why can't you have vitamin K, Papa?" And we don't always want to get into it. So, a piece of celery. Okay. It's just been a fantastic day through the years. Thank you. So, we're just going to go around and see who else is here. I see the fabulous girls. The girls who get together. Oh, these girls would watch Sex in the City. And then they would call me and ask me to explain scenes, but I was okay with it. And we have, I think, the famous, it's Dr. Jubilee, right? I contact Dr. Jubilee, I believe is a psychiatrist. He's a psychiatrist, or a psychologist. A psychiatrist. So when Barbara starts talking to Barbara, and isn't quite sure where Barbara is, she calls the psychiatrist. Thank you. I think for 108, I'm doing pretty well, don't you think? Thank you. When I had Jackie, my pediatrician, Dr. Jubilee, he would help me. He helped me raise my beautiful Jackie. She was so beautiful. So thank you, Dr. Jubilee. So I just want to thank this congregation for making me feel so welcome. And I was here to talk about, Ethan, when I do my specials on the Middle East and on Israel, Ethan is my Jewish expert. Thank you. You've been very helpful. Such a helpful group. I love them. So, since we have a change in venue, just remember, buy my book, Books and Bagels, audition, and if you've been on a trip and you want a 108-year-old woman to accompany you, please let me know. Okay, I'm great company, very enjoyable, very funny, I can take care of myself, I need a little help with a few little things, but pretty much self-sufficient, so I look forward to seeing you. So, is Judge Peck here? Oh, Judge Peck, I do want you to know I'm good friends with Judge Judy. And I'm going to tell her about your royal screw-up, and she's going to give you a good talking to, and she doesn't hold back, so I just want you to be prepared. Are you prepared?
Never quite prepared.
You're never quite prepared, but you're going to try. Okay. And it's so nice to see Stephen. I remember being at a party with Stephen and Larry Bloom and Barack Obama. And Rabbi and Larry were chowing down on the tomatoes, and Barack and I stayed up until the wee hours of the morning, drinking Shabbatinis and deciding my political future. And I'm thinking, maybe it's not going to be Trump, maybe it's not going to be Hillary, maybe it's not going to be Bernie Sanders, maybe it'll be Baba. Maybe Baba should be president. So, I want you to keep that in mind. But if anything, Baba can adapt. This picture Baba's, excuse me, little baby, at 108 years old. Okay, Baba's looking good. So, I'm very adaptable. So, I am not, look who's on my list. I'm going to be calling up Joanne Price. But Joanne, can I see where you are? Joanne, is your husband here? I met with your husband about producing the Broadway musical, And unfortunately, he thought I meant Barbara Streisand. And I said, no, Barbara Walters. And the talks didn't go so well, but maybe you'll put in a good word for me? Okay. So I would like to introduce Joanne Price. She was Rabbi G's Search Committee Chair and the past president during Rabbi G's tenure. So Joanne, I will now turn the mic over to you.
Thank you. I don't know that I can carry on like this. I like the color. So I'm here to reminisce about
Farmers and Joanne listening to someone else farm.
my crops. No, it's a paper bag. Okay, we'll start again. But I am here to reminisce about when this all started, about 9.5 years ago, when we began our search for the rabbi. And I think it's wonderful that there are many members of the search committee who are still around today and who are here tonight. So if you were on that search committee 9.5 years ago, would you just wave your hand? Okay. As Martin and Nidell, who was also here earlier, my co-chair, and the search committee went through the process of looking through the applications, which began to come in from all over the country and even one from abroad. There was one that stood out at the beginning. Her application, Rabbi Goldenberg, she sent us one of her sermons. And in it she wrote about the Mishkan, which you mentioned tonight, the tent which housed the Ark of the Covenant and which contained the presence of God. Each person was asked to bring a contribution toward the building of the tabernacle, a gift which his or her heart moved him to bring. This gift, small or large, connected the people to each other and the building, and every contribution was important. As I read this, I felt she was talking about our Mishkan, our tent-like sanctuary, and feeling that she would help bring the presence of God into our Mishkan. Of course, we went through the whole process, interviewing lots of candidates and checking references, and the same process that Rita went through with the current committee. And then we brought Rabbi Goldenberg to Chester for her first interview. And something magical happened. It was during Hanukkah, and we asked her, you remember, we asked her to light the Hanukkah candles. And in our tent-like sanctuary, before we began our meeting, the walls were up, it was darkened, and as she lit the candles and chanted the blessings, a feeling of calm came over all of us, a feeling of beauty, and the presence of God filled that space with us. The noise of the outside world disappeared. The pressure of the work we were going to embark on that evening dissipated. And I, for one, longed for that feeling to continue to fill our synagogue. One of the last steps in the process was a visit to the rabbi's congregation in Dallas to see her in her home territory. Eric Infeld and I flew down to Dallas and were greeted by a wonderful ice storm. Coming from New England, we really didn't need that, but there it was. And let me tell you that when we got to her synagogue, it was a huge synagogue. It's the largest synagogue in the Southwest, with multiple rabbis, multiple activities, multiple services going on at the same time. when we tried to get a feel for Rabbi Goldenberg's work in this mega synagogue that was so unlike ours. But we found it. We went to a warm, engaging family service that she was leading. We went to Torah study the next morning, which Rabbi Goldenberg was also leading. And we walked around and we looked at everything and we talked to a lot of people and we asked a lot of questions. Well, one of the areas that I noticed was a particular interest of Rabbi Goldenberg's was the area of social action. She had started a project to raise money to help raise awareness of the situation in Darfur. Volunteers were creating pins made of the little Guatemalan worry dolls, those little tiny dolls, that were to symbolize the people who were suffering or were killed in Darfur. Each little doll was to help create awareness of the number of people who were dying in Darfur every day. And this project was started by Rabbi Goldenberg and was spreading around the country. So, the next morning, when we came back here, as I recall, it was the Hanukkah celebration, and I walked in the front door, and it still gives me goosebumps to remember that Rona Mantua was standing there selling those pins from Dallas. And I don't know what she thought of me, because I grabbed one of them and disappeared, and she came chasing after me later on. I didn't know what to do. I was so excited. And it felt to me like, you know the Yiddish word beshert? That this is right. That this was right here. This was showing me. Eric, who's sitting over there, was over there that morning cooking sufganiyot or something for Hanukkah. And I went right over and said, look what we have here. Very excited. The next night, that night was the search committee meeting. And Eric and I came into the search committee and we brought with us grapes. We were the spies who went to see the land of Canaan, and we came back to tell the search committee that it was good, that what we saw was very good. And it was. And it's been good for 9 years. And you may have our grapes. They preserve very well.
Thank you, Joanne. And now I have the honor of introducing a woman who is almost as powerful. Cynthia Perry. Executive Director of the Jewish Federation of the Year.
I hope that you're all going to be able to hear me, because I'm not going to use the mic, but thank you.
Thank you.
Listening to you, any of you get Tablet magazine on every day on your iPhones and on your. So Tablet's a wonderful Jewish resource. They just decided to have a paper edition, which I signed up for, and I got a little kind of carry case. On it, it says, "You used to be a mocker." So I want to just say, I think it was just chance. I do read 2 tablets every day, the tablets of the 10 Commandments. But for me, I'm not here today because of the Federation. I'm not here in an official capacity. I'm here because I have come to know and love this congregation and hold your rabbi in tremendous self-esteem. And luckily, because my friends, the prices don't charge me very much to stay at their house when I come and walk in. So let me just say, Rachel, I was in official capacity here when you were installed, and I spoke to you. That Shabbos, it was the reading of the parsha that's called Chaye Sarah, which means, if you translate it, the lives of Sarah, not just the life of Sarah, it's actually about her death, but her many lives. And I recall saying to you at that time that in your rabbinate, you have many lives. I took, with some chutzpah, the opportunity, as just a little bit older than your very young rabbi, to offer some wisdom, because the lives of women, professional women, are many, and the balancing act and the tightrope they walk are sometimes shaky. And I reminded her that, yes, a woman, a daughter, a spouse, a mother, she has to be teacher and pastor. She has to be, for all of you and us, a friend and a colleague, and most of all, her role as a rabbi. And it feels to me that it's worth saying to you then and now, a little bit say for yourself. That space where you can grow and learn and renew, you're going to need that as you go forward on the next part of your life. I also want to commend her for something that I've learned from her, and I hope that you have too. She talks about what she takes when she leaves, and I want to talk about what she leaves us with. I know no rabbis in this community, and I know a lot of rabbis in the greater New Haven community, who is more devoted to the statement of the Torah, Tzedek Terdof, pursue justice everywhere. I tell you without exaggeration that this is an emblem, I think, of her rabbinate and of herself. And coincident with that is striving for peace. Those things I think she leaves us with, I think she charges us with, to do better and more, so that we will be better human beings and better Jews. So as you go, as you leave us, know that we wish you to go from chayil to chayil, from strength to strength. I am positive that you will have hatzlacha, success, and I hope satisfaction in your next work. But don't stop. Keep teaching about what it means to be a Jew and what it means to be a citizen of this world. And we'll all miss you, but you stay with us in this very, very amazing sacred space. So thank you.
Thank you, Sydney. Next, I'd like to introduce a musical member of our crew, so I'm going to sing her name. I believe she plays the guitar. Peg Palmer, former Religious Affairs Committee Chair during Rabbi G tenure. Welcome, Papa, welcome. Welcome. Oh,
Have a wig. Don't have a bag of props. I just wanted to talk very quickly about 9+ years ago, when we got the word that we had a new rabbi coming, and wanted to know a little about you. And the buzzword then, still today, she's very collaborative. She wants to partner with us. You know, you hear this all the time, right? What did we really want? We wanted a rabbi who was going to bully us into doing what she wanted, or a rabbi who was going to just do whatever we said. No, of course, we wanted a rabbi who was going to partner with us. But who really does that in life? I'm sure for any of you out there in the work world, or in school, or wherever, a lot of people talk collaboration. A lot of people talk partnering. But you know, a lot of times what we get, not so much. So I was on the Religious Affairs Committee and somehow became chair at some point. And I was thinking about the Religious Affairs Committee and how it's so different from probably every other committee in a synagogue. And that is we're in charge of the religious practice. But basically, I know I speak for myself when I say I could fill Sandy Seidman's truck many times over with all that I don't know about Judaism. Like, I don't know anything. So these, my lay companions and I were on this committee, and this is our job. And then we have our clergy, who's on the committee with us, who knows like a ton. That's their job. That's why we hired them. And so there's this automatic imbalance in a committee like this. So how is a partnership really going to work in this situation? And I'd been on the committee a little bit before and saw how it isn't always so much of a collaboration. It isn't always so much of a partnership. It isn't anybody's fault. It's just sort of the nature of the imbalanced committee and what we're charged to do. So Rachel joined us, and I learned from her what collaboration really looks like. When I was thinking about it, so one thing I learned from the rabbi was that rabbi means teacher. And what we got from Rachel was an amazing teacher. And we spent a lot of time in that committee. For those of you who are in it, or on it now, you learn a tremendous amount because Rachel is an amazing teacher. Not the kind of teacher who's pontificating or making you feel stupid for what you don't know, but giving us the information that we needed so we could make good decisions for a really important aspect of synagogue life, how we practice our Judaism. So to me, that was like, she was empowering us. I know, another buzzword, but it was actually happens when you work with Rabbi. So yes, a great teacher. And then it seemed to me like the next thing you have to do to be a good collaborator is you have to be a good listener. So I don't know about the rest of you guys on committees like this, but I come in there and I'm thinking, I have some vague notion of some practice, some maybe vague recollection of how I hated it when I was a kid. I don't know. And this is kind of what I bring to the table. But Rahel was generous enough always to listen to us, so we could get this dialogue. Again, another buzzword, but we actually did it. So good listener, good teacher, good listener, and then I guess the third ingredient is openness. I think there's openness that's too open, sort of sure, do whatever you want. That was not the case. But an openness to hear where we were coming from, what our traditions were, where we could be moved forward, what something really meant from the bottom up, so we could create something for the synagogue and for our congregants that meant something. Something from our history, something from our traditions, something from new that we created ourselves here with our 49% Jewish congregants, So
for me, it was just an amazing experience to be on the Religious Affairs Committee, to work with you. And I want to thank you for teaching us, listening to us, being open to us, and showing me what true collaboration is.
Next, I'd like to introduce my new best friend, because I'm going to be 108 years old and I'm going to need an apartment soon. And he's building a lot of apartments in Clinton, according to the paper. Maybe he'll come to you. And I'd like to introduce Henry Wesnikoff, speaking on behalf of the Holy Schools.
Rabbi, you have led holy scholars searching for the answers to the mysteries of why we have been commanded not to mix linen and wool, the availability of dolphin skins in the wilderness, talking acids, and in your immortal words, the yuckiness of skin diseases. You have led discussions ranging from morality, ethics, sin, purity, to the meaning of holiness. And in turn, we've exposed you to the experiences of Woodstock, blue haze, the selective surface lottery, and the impact of 1A and 4F on baby boomer generation. And of course, no holy scholar experience will ever be complete without learning and then properly using Sean Connicky's attempts at expanding our vocabulary. With the likes of exegesis, asegesis, theasmus, theodicy, and crowd-pleasing I'm going to kill this one. Apophysis. Thank you for tolerating and wrestling with the egos and personalities of the scholar community while enlarging our view of the Torah with reading from the prophets, Midrash, Talmud, and Hasidic tales. Many of us were especially inspired to believe he finally came to understand why he needed to be part of the Red Sox and Patriots families, even though he came to us from Texas and are now moving to New York. We have all grown from your leadership of our people's ageless struggle and wrestling with the meaning and place of Torah in our hearts and lives. Thank you.
And next, they have all sat at my view table, ABC 11 o'clock in the morning, Monday through Friday. The CBSR Gabbies, Henry Wesnikoff, Kevin Fox, and Laura Woman.
Rabbi, for 9 years, the Gabbis, Kevin Fox, Laura Roman, and I have had the honor of assisting you, especially during high holidays. The reality is that 99% of the congregation really don't know what we do other than walk around during services, looking serious and consulting our secret lists. Thus, today, as you leave us, we wish to induct you into the Gabbai Guild, hoping you will carry this time-honored tradition to